Okay, so have your band to hand. I'm going to start with the feet about hip width apart. So just soften the knees, close the eyes, drop the shoulders, give your body a little bit of a shake and a wriggle around. And then find stillness. So push your feet down into the floor. Lift through the inner arches of the feet. So that arch that comes on the inside, I want you to pull up from there, pull up through the thighs, lift your shoulders up to the ears, and then settle them all the way down. So you're stood as tall as you can be. Maybe lift all 10 toes and then push them back down into the ground. And then find a slight squeeze through the glutes as you slightly draw the navel into the spine. So a little bit of engagement around the center of the body. Nothing too forced. Just hold that nice, strong, tall line. Take a few breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, maybe there's a bit more of a softening across the top of the shoulders. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath. And then as you exhale, let the chin come into the chest. Let the belly button draw further in towards the spine. Roll through the upper back, looking towards the navel as you do so. So constantly trying to pull the navel in as you roll down. I want you to feel the waist hugging in, drawing in towards the spine. Reach down towards the ground. Let your knees be soft. Don't force the legs straight so early on in the practice. And then roll back up, push the feet down, pull the waist in, and use that drawing in around the center of the body to help you roll up to standing. Restacking the spine, bringing it back nice and tall, maybe a fraction taller than you were before. Chin into chest. Roll down through the upper body, shoulders come forwards, then the middle of the back rounds. You round down through the lower back. Keep rolling all the way down to the floor, pulling in as you roll down. Remember, let the knees be soft, so don't force anything. Give the hamstrings, the back of the body, chance to wake up, chance to open, and then roll up, drawing in through center of the body. So you're trying to pull away from the waistband of your trousers is a nice way to think about it. So you're not just pulling in from the front, but you're trying to pull in from the side as well. Take one more. Chin in, navel in, spine rolls down, all the way down. And then when you're down on this one, I want you to stay here, hold opposite elbows, add a bit of movement, momentum, just rock side to side. Give yourself an opportunity to open around the hips, the lower back. And then you're going to reach for your band. Take your band around the middle of the feet. So if you don't have a band, you're just going to have your feet hip width apart. So have them not right up by the ankle, not over the toes, but over the middle part of the foot. And then wriggle just a centimetre or two out wide. So there's some tension on the band. Take the hands to the hips. Imagine there's a piece of string pulling you up towards the ceiling, so you can't waver forwards or backwards. Inhale, rise to your toes. Exhale, lower down. So just a tiny movement. Inhale, rise to the toes. Exhale, lower down. Where you're holding onto the hips, try and pull your belly away from the fingers. So try not to just relax through the center of the body, but keep yourself drawing in around the waist. Like you're trying to breathe in, fit into a really tight pair of jeans. And keep drawing the belly button in. Go for 3 and lower. 2 and lower. Last one and lower. Bend into the knees. If you have a band, keep the band there. If you don't, you're just going to do the same exercise without. So transfer the weight to the left leg. Keep the hands on the waist so you can notice if you let go around the center of the body. Take the right foot out and bring it back. Take the right foot out and bring it back. So there's tension on that band as you step out to the side and then come back in. Try and keep nice and low in that left thigh. So we're also working and strengthening into that left leg. 5. Bring it in. 4. 3, 2, and 1. Hold that right foot out, transfer your weight all the way over. Now bend into the right leg. Bring the left leg back in, and then step out. Back in, and step out. This is quite an old band, and any minute now it's going to snap. I'm just looking at it getting very thin in the middle. Go 6, in, stay low in that right leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rise back up. Turn your toes out a little. So you've got more of a wide stance, not as narrow as your hips, a little bit wider out to the side. Sit down into a squat position. So knees tracking out, don't let them fall in, push them out, and then rise onto your toes. So there's resistance on the band. Lower down. Rise onto your toes. Lower down, trying to pull the waist in. So trying to hook in from the sides, pull in from the front. 4, 3, 2, and last 1. Let that go. Now, take your band, depending on how loose or tight it is, this may or may not work for some of you. If not, if the band doesn't work, have your arms out, so elbows bend, palms face up. You're going to keep your elbows there. All you're going to do is try and take the hands out to the side. So don't let the elbows lift. If your band isn't so tight, you can do it with the band as well. But we're just trying to work a little bit of external rotation in the shoulders. So this elbow doesn't move. My hand just comes out to the side. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now take your hand in the band if you hadn't before. You're going to hold it in front of you. Inhale, pushing out to the side, reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring it down. There's not so much benefit without the band on this one, but we're only doing 5. So just bear with us and then we'll come down to the floor if you don't have a band. So you're trying to pull the band apart as you reach up to the sky and bring it back down. Just working the outside and the back of the shoulders, kind of thinking about the rotator cuff muscles. Go for 2. Bring it down. And last one. Bring it down, let that go. And your arm should be shaking. Come down to all fours. Hands and knees. Take your knees a bit wider so you're a bit more stable through the lower body. Just reach your right arm up to the sky, stretch nice and high. And then take that right arm all the way through. Rest the right shoulder down to the ground. Stay there, stretching the back of the right shoulder. If you like, you can reach the left arm to the top of the mat at the same time. So we open the back of the right shoulder and stretch the left side body. 2 more breaths. And then come back. Place your right hand down. Lift your left arm up, nice and tall, open the chest. Exhale, thread that left arm all the way through, resting to the left shoulder. Reach your right arm out in front of you maybe. So you're trying to think downward facing dog with the back. So you're trying to create length here in the lower back. Imagine your hips are lifting up towards the ceiling. Stretching down through the sides of the body. And then come back up on all fours. Bring your knees back in so they're not quite as far out to the side. And take your hands just an inch further forward so they're not quite directly underneath the shoulders. Now bend both elbows at the same time all the way down to the floor. And then at the same time, lift both shoulders, both elbows, sorry, not shoulders. So lower both elbows. So it's quite a funny one to do at the same time. What I don't want you to do is go left or right first. I want you to try and lower both forearms at the same time and lift at the same time. Again, just working the control around the back of the shoulder blades, working some stability into the back of the shoulder joints. We'll go for 3. Lift up for 2. Lift up and 1. Lift up. Now keep the arms straight. Bring your shoulders forwards over the wrists. Tuck the tailbone slightly. Don't let the hips pop back. So tuck under. We'll lower down halfway and lift back up. As you're working through these, look beyond the top of the mat. If you look down, there doesn't seem to be anywhere to go. Whereas if you look forwards, the chest can come forwards and then we push back up. Chest can come forwards and we push back up. Take 1 more and push back. Sit into a child's pose. Just stretch out underneath the shoulders and the arms. Give the hips a gentle rock from side to side. Massage your forehead into the floor if you like. Just release any tension holding on to around the forehead. And then we'll come and lie onto our fronts. So stretch the legs back, lie all the way down, make a pillow with the hands. So just place one hand on top of the other, point the toes, squeeze and engage the legs together, the inner thighs, resting your forehead down. So to start with, the upper body is staying down. Don't lift the forehead. All I want you to do is lift the feet and the legs off the floor. So you should feel the glutes start to squeeze and then lower back down. Keep the head on the ground on the hands. Lift the legs up to the sky and then lower. 3 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Now the legs stay where they are. Push the tops of the feet into the floor, engage the thighs. Inhale, lift the upper body, keep the forehead stuck to the hands. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift forehead, lift the arms, lift the elbows. Exhale, lower. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Exhale. Last one. Exhale. Now take the arms out to the side, palms face down to the floor, fingers reaching to the bottom of the mat. This time as you inhale, I want the arms to lift the chest and the legs. Hold it here, squeeze the glutes, point the toes back further. Exhale, lower all the way down. Might just be an inch or 2 of movement, that's fine. Inhale, lift, whole body off the floor. Reach the fingers back, reach the shoulders back, lift the feet higher. Exhale, lower. 3 more times. Inhale, lift, squeeze the glutes, make sure they're supporting the back. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale. Final one. Exhale, make a pillow once more. Place the hands at the top of the mat. Give your hips a rock from side to side. And then stretch your feet to the far corners of the mat so the legs are in a V shape. And then from there, bend your knees and bring the heels to touch. So heels touch, toes kick out to the side. Keep your heels connected. Imagine they're holding onto a piece of paper. You don't want to drop it. Keep the forehead down to the ground. Can you lift your feet up to the sky? Lift the knees off the floor. Exhale. Let the thighs relax back down. Keep the heels squeezing all the way throughout. So inhale, lift, squeeze the glutes, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. 3 more, see if you can lift higher. Inhale, exhale. Breath in and out. Very last one. Lift and hold it there for 3. Squeeze the heels, 2 and 1. Stretch the legs out. Bring your hands underneath the shoulders. Sit back into a child's pose. Big stretch around the hips, the lower back. Let the chest and the shoulders soften. Breathe in and breathe out. Find a steady breath. Find some space through the rib cage. So see if you can just breathe into the side of the ribs, feel them expand, and then exhale. 1 more. Feel the rib cage push out to the side, maybe into the thighs, and exhale. Push into the hands. Rise up to all 4s. Tuck the toes. We'll take a stretch through the backs of the legs. So lift your hips up to the sky. Up and down through the backs of the legs, pushing into the hands. Inhale. Exhale. Come forwards to a plank position. Hold your plank position nice and strong. Shoulders are over wrists. Take your feet an inch wider so you're a bit more stable through the feet. Navel pulls into the spine. If you can, without rocking the upper body around too much, we're going to lift the right hand, tap the left shoulder, then bring the right hand down. Lift the left hand, tap the right shoulder. Bring it back down. Once more each side. Tap the left and lower. Tap the right and lower. Rest the knees and come and lie down onto your left hand side. Now, if you like, depends how strong your band is. If your band's really tight, then this is not going to be of any use because it won't give you any movement. If your band's quite loose, you can have it above the knees in the middle of the thighs. I'm going to lie down on our side. Reach the left arm out. Rest the left hand down and stretch your legs all the way to the bottom of the mat so you have one long line, and you can line yourself up with the front or the back of the mat. Place your right hand in front of you, then lift the legs and bring them forwards. So both feet come forwards, there or thereabouts, kind of 45 degrees out in front of you. Make sure you're not totally collapsing through that left side of the waist. Relax your top foot. So just for now, I don't want you to draw the toes back or point them. Just keep that right foot relaxed. Lift the right leg all the way up and then lower it down. Lift up and lower. Just be aware of that left side waist. And as you're lifting, I want you to think about lengthening and then lengthen again as you lower. So lengthen to lift, lengthen to lower, lengthen to lift, lengthen to lower, 4, lower, 3, lower, 2, lower. Last one, hold it up. Draw the right leg back. So now it's in line with the rest of the body. And then bring it forwards. Keep it high. Try not to let the height go low. Bring it back. And come forwards. Bring it back. And come forwards. 5. Still keeping that right foot relaxed if you can. 4. 3. Last 2. And last one. Bend both knees so the shins stack on top of one another. All you're going to do is lift the whole top leg. So keep the knee bent, just lift it, lower back down. Lift, lower back down. Just ask yourself, are you collapsing in that left side, or can you keep a tiny bit of space underneath the left waist? Lift up and lower. If you're regretting the choice to band your thighs, feel free to take the band away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now bring your knees higher so the shins run parallel with that front side of the mat. You're going to lift the knee whilst the feet are together and then swap. So knees tap, ankles tap, knees tap, ankles tap. You should really feel that in the outside of the hip. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest the right leg on top of the left leg. Reach your left arm out in front of you and then take your right arm back. Twist through that top hip. We'll take 3 big breaths in. Soften your right shoulder back. Exhale. Breathe in. Relax. Breathe out. One more. Exhale. Okay, then just come to lying on your back. So just shift. So in the middle of your mat, lying down on the back. If you're banded, just shimmy the band down closer towards your hips so it's out of the way. Place your right ankle on top of the left thigh. With your right hand, just push that right thigh away. Should feel a release into the back of the right hip. I don't know if mine's just really tight or if everyone's feeling that. So push that right thigh away. And then if you want more, you can I don't even know if I can. You can interlace around your left thigh and pull in. Ooh. I feel like my hip's about to snap. So you can pull that in to stretch around the right thigh. Maybe rock side to side if you need to soften the intensity and keep yourself from crying. Okay. And then we'll switch to the other side. So just lie down now onto your right side. So line up with the back of the mat. If you're banded, just remind yourself to shimmy it down halfway. Legs stretch out. Right arm reaches all the way so your right bicep can act as a pillow. Left hand comes just in front. A little reminder to lift the right side of your waist. Top leg and bottom leg are going to lift forwards 45 degrees. Relax your left foot so it's not straining. Lift your left leg to the sky and then lower down. Lift to the sky and lower down. Wait to see if you can keep that left hip still. So sometimes there's a tendency to let the left hip rock back. To try and keep that left hip exactly where it is. 5, 4, 3, 2. You're going to hold and maintain height on 1. Draw that left leg back. Now it's in line with the body, kicks to the back of the mat. And then we bring it forwards. Draw it back in line with the body. And bring it forwards. Draw it back. Bring it forwards. Challenge yourself. Keep the height. 5. Navel in. 4. Don't collapse in the right side. 3, 2, and 1. Bend both knees. So your shins stack on top of one another. Just check underneath that right side waist. And then we're going to lift the whole top leg, even though the knee's bent. Just lift the whole unit and then lower down. Lift all the way up and lower down. For 8 and lower. 7. Trying not to move that top left hip around too much. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, bring both knees forwards. So now your shins run in line with the front of the mat. I'm going to lift the knees, feet together, and that starts the tap. Knee tap, ankle tap, knee tap, ankle tap. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Right arm reaches out in front of you, left arm comes back. Should be quite a nice twist through the spine. And a good stretch around the left hip. Inhale. Exhale. Try and melt your left shoulder back into the ground. So try and encourage that left shoulder back. And then just adjust yourself on your mat so you're lying on your back. Can actually get rid of the band if you are banded. Place your left foot on top of the right thigh. Start by just taking your left hand, encouraging the left thigh away. That might be absolutely plenty. For me, that is. And then if you need more, your hands are going to come round, interlace behind the right thigh. I'm laughing because that's really worked to me. I don't know why. Pull in. Give a gentle rock from side to side. Move around. Take a couple of breaths. Okay. And then rest. Just lie your arms down by your side. Bring yourself into the center of the mat so that when you take your arms down, both hands are onto the ground. Push your little fingers down. Push your triceps and your shoulders back. So we root the shoulder blades onto the spine. Roll your hips up off the floor, all the way up. So we have a straight line from the knees to the hips to the shoulders. Let's just maintain that line for a moment. Pull the waist in. Think about tucking your tailbone under so the tailbone shoots down to the back of the knees rather than pointing down towards the ground. And then from here, I want you to lift onto the toes. Lower the foot down. Lift to the toes. Lower the foot down. 3. Lower. 2. As we do this, you're trying to keep the hips high. Last one. And roll down to the ground. Nice and slowly. Okay, 2 options. If you don't have a band, hold on to the back of your head. You're going to bring the knees in and you're going to lift your head and neck up. You're just going to stretch one leg out, bring in, stretch the other leg out. If you have a band, we're going to place it around the middle of the feet like we did when we were stood up. You're going to take the feet out a little so there's some tension. You can let the head and neck relax back. Keep a notice on the knees, so try not to let them come any further apart. Keep that left leg still. Kick your right leg out. Bring your right leg in. Kick your left leg out. Come in. So really slow and controlled. Push the band out as you stretch away so that you maintain tension. Working on the psoas, a muscle that stabilizes the lower vertebrae. Go 4, 3, 2, and last one. Come in, bring the knees together. Band can officially go out to the side. I don't think we need it anymore. Everyone, Neat. With the knees above the hips, hold on to the back of the head. We're all going to lift up. And if your neck's hurting when you lift up, it's probably because you're just lifting the neck. So there's a lot of work coming from the neck. Don't just want the neck to lift. I want this whole upper body complex to lift. So my shoulders are lifting as well. And then I'm supporting the head. Keep the knees in line and then tap the right toes down to the floor. Bring them back. Tap the left toes. Bring them back. Look to your belly button as you do this and try and pull in. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back up. Rest the upper body down. Take your arms out to the side. Turn your hands, palms face down onto the floor. So almost like you're gripping the ground with the arms and the hands. Now, without letting the knees touch the floor, slowly rock your knees over to the right side, only as far as you can control. So we're not dropping the knees all the way down. We're working the side of the waist, holding them there, and then bringing them back and taking them over to the left side. So squeeze the knees together as you do this, engage the inner thighs, control that rotation through the lower back, and bring it back to center. Might just be an inch or so of movement, that's fine. So you'll feel one hip lift as you come over to the side. We'll bring it back to center, and you'll feel the hips lift the other way. And just a slight rock, side to side. 3. Go for 2. And last one. Come back to center. Now take the hands behind the head. Again, lift that whole upper body complex. So not just the head and neck, but lift the shoulders too. Look to the belly button, squeeze the knees together, tap both toes. Bring it back. Tap both toes. Bring it back. 5. Keep squeezing the knees, squeeze the inner thighs. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Rest your upper body down, rest the arms down by the side. Keep the ankles together, open the knees. Close the knees, kick the feet apart. So a bit like what we were doing with our toe tap, knee tap when we were lying on our side. Ankles come together, knees go out wide. Knees come together, ankles go out wide. So we're working on the rotation in the hip socket as well as strength around the pelvis. Knees together, feet apart, feet together, knees apart. If you want a little bit more, hold on to the back of the head and lift up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold on to the thighs, the knees, bring them in. Gentle rock. And then come up to a seat. Just sit nice and tall for a moment. Place the hands onto the knees. Lift your chest up to the sky. Open through the front of the body. And then exhale, looks round into the back. Bring the chin into chest. Stretch open through the shoulders. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, round and pull in. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, round and pull in. Okay, and then come over. So find all fours again. Hands and knees. Now imagine someone's just placed a tray onto your back. So you have to keep your back perfectly still. You're not able to drop in the center of the body at all. Take your left leg back, toes touch the floor. Take your right arm forwards, little finger touches the floor. Think about that tray. Inhale, lift the right arm and the left leg. Exhale, lower. Keep them reaching forwards and back as you lift and lower. So you can't go so high with the back leg, or you'd risk dropping in the center of the body and the tray would wobble. 5, lower, 4, lower, 3, lower, 2, lower, last one. Hold it, reaching forward, stretching back. Now keep the right arm exactly where it is. Just draw circles with your left toes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place the right hand down. Place the left knee down. Think about that tray still. Tuck both toes. Ever so slowly lift the knees off the ground. Hold it there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest the knees. Keep the back straight. Stretch your right leg out. Stretch your left arm forwards. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, slow, lower. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, slowly lower. Lift without dropping through the waist. Exhale, lower. 4, lower. 3, lower. 2, lower. Last one, hold it, left arm stays reaching forwards. 5 small circles with the right foot. 2, 1. Bring the left hand down, bring the right knee down, toes tuck, hips lift up to the sky, stretch and lengthen out through the back of the legs. Give the head gentle rock from side to side. Nod yes, wriggle side to side no. If you like, reach the right leg up to the sky, bend the right knee, and just open the right hip. So a 3-leg downward dog, just to open through that right thigh, pushing into both hands. And then we'll slowly swap. Place your right foot down, lift your left leg high, reaching up to the ceiling, bend the left knee, open the left hip, stretch through the left thigh, lift and lengthen, and then bring your left foot down, walk your feet in all the way to the back of the hands, knees can stay soft, hold opposite elbows, and just think about how heavy the elbows, the arms, the shoulders, the head and the neck are. Gently sway side to side. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Let the arms go. Your slowest roll up, so push into your feet, pull the navel to spine, push down as you slowly start to round. Waist draws in, curling up as slowly as you possibly can. Rolling, just standing, stacking the vertebrae, one on top of the other. Reach the arms up to the sky. Take your left hand, hold around the right wrist. Inhale, tall. Exhale, side bend over to the left. Open that right side. And then to center, switch. So just make sure you go the other side if you went a different way to me. Hold that left wrist, pull over. And back to center. Take your hands behind the back. interlace the fingers, reach your knuckles back behind you, open the chest, take a big inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold all the way down, crown of the head to the ground. Knuckles reach up to your ceiling, so lift them high. Feel that stretch and that opening across the chest, front of the shoulders. With interlaced hands, so keep the hands there, push into the feet, roll back up, pull the navel in away from the thighs. Rise to stand. Take the arms down by the side. Stand nice and tall, close the eyes. Let your arms relax down. Notice the length through the spine, space across the shoulders. Take a big inhale, feel the chest rise. And a big exhale, just notice the release as you let that breath go. 2 more like that. Inhale to the top of the lungs. Exhale to soften. Inhale. And exhale. Hands into prayer. Thank yourself for your efforts and for giving up time to practice. Have a lovely Friday, a wonderful weekend, and I'll either see you on Sunday or Monday.